And first of all, thank you for everybody who's come tonight. I think this is probably the most amount of people we've had in a very, very long time, and there are a whole lot of new neighbors, and I just want to say thank you. There's been a lot of people on Facebook saying both good and bad about this neighborhood, and when you mention coming to a neighborhood association meeting, they suddenly can't talk anymore. So I want to thank all of you for not just talking about it, but being about it and being here. So you should give yourselves a hand. And with that, that brings me to one of the first positive things that we can say about this area is we're growing. And there are so many new faces here tonight. There's so many new faces I see when I'm driving around the neighborhood. We're growing, and we're growing in the right direction. We're finally getting a renewed interest in our neighborhood, in our community. We're getting a renewed interest from the city. They're actually wanting to do things here because they are finally figuring out what we have known for a very long time, which is we are the next it neighborhood. There's nowhere else to go. We're it. We're that next place where it's going to, in a few years, cost $5,000 a month to rent a house. We're that next place because we have good bones. We have good people. We have great zoning. We have character. We have amenities. We are that next it neighborhood. First and foremost, we have no more adult porn theater. Yeah. We're working on it. First of all, no one can find the owner of the other one. They're two separate owners in that little plaza right there, and we can't find the owner. It's been somewhere from Wichita to Las Vegas to Georgia. We can't find him, but we're working on it. And the owner is a friend of the community, of the new theater. If you notice, he's already painted it. He's wanting to do something positive with it. That's huge. That's a game changer. That's that kind of game changer that literally has economic development people looking our way. But it's up to us. What they're looking at now can either be made or broken by what we do moving forward, our next steps. In case anybody is not familiar with, was it East 59? It's a new coffee shop that's coming in on First Avenue North. That's huge. That is huge. It's an amenity. People want to move to an area where it's walkable and you can do things and that you don't have to drive everywhere to get what you want. That is huge. Next to them is coming in a new boutique. I've just gotten word that our city councilor is wanting to work with us to do some new and improved things. I don't exactly know what they are, but you know what? If it's something positive, we're all for something positive.
Yes.
Rev Birmingham, they're wanting to come in and they're wanting to do some things and commit a whole year to this area to see that Main Street area on First Avenue North and Oporto become something. That's great. We are all for the positive. But one thing comes with that. Positive means we have to take responsibility and inventory of what we need in our community, and we need to actively voice to the people who are elected to represent us, to the people who are paid to represent us, and tell them with our voice, in one firm, unified voice, what we need. The last thing any of us want, I think, is people coming in and saying, well, this is what we're going to give you. That does nobody any good. That's kind of like me saying to my husband who just walked in, sorry, dude. On cue. It's kind of like me saying to him, I need help around the house. He says, okay. He literally and figuratively helps me around the house. He mowed the lawn. That's great. But that's not the kind of help I needed. So it's a double-edged sword. Whereas he has the responsibility to ask me what kind of help I need, I have the responsibility of being very, very clear about the help I need and voicing it. That's what we have not been doing. As a community, we have been asking and begging and screaming and complaining that our city do more. What does more mean? If you don't tell somebody exactly what you need from them, don't get upset when you don't get it. And then when you ask for more, please make sure that the people you're asking more of are capable of giving you what you need, because they may be working at max capacity. Then you're setting everybody up to fail. So this year and next year, I strongly propose that we do some real housekeeping. We sit here in these meetings and we work. We figure out exactly what we need. We come up with a master plan for our community, and we hold everybody that we bother to walk out the door and elect, we hold them accountable for what it is that we need. And we have to be strong in this. We have to follow up in this. We have to be committed to this. So over here on this table, I don't know if everybody saw it or signed up when they came in, is a list of committees, subcommittees, that we're gonna work on as a neighborhood. Each of these committees are designed to address a specific issue. Now, I'm not one of those people that likes to meet just to meet. It gets on my nerves. I meet every day. I feel like I don't ever do anything because that's all I'm doing is meeting with people, and I'm sure you all feel the same way. So before you put your name on any of these lists, if you're interested in doing so, please know this. The next steps in this neighborhood are critical, and they're all gonna have to be guided by us. If you really can't do it, it's cool, no harm, no foul, don't put your name on the list. But if you really wanna see change, if you wanna see your streets safer, if you really wanna see your property values increase, if you really wanna be able to hold your head up high about your neighborhood, then be a part of your own solution. What I've watched in the last maybe 2 weeks, the Facebook posts have gone insane in this neighborhood. And it's all the back and forth about these shots. You know, some of it's great. Shots were fired over here, yeah, I heard them too. Or somebody was, trying to break into my house, okay, they were trying to break in over here. That kind of communication we need. We all need to be alert. But it is amazing how quickly, as concerned and passionate people, it goes from positive communication and beating the drums and letting people know what's happening in your neighborhood to bashing the neighborhood that you're supposed to love and want people to come live in. It's digital, folks. Doesn't go anywhere. It goes out to all the people that might have potentially looked at our area and it goes, well, if they don't really want to live there, why do I want to live there? You're running away the same people you want to be here. We've got to be real careful about the message that we put out. If we love this neighborhood and we want to live in this neighborhood and we want to build it up, don't tear it down while you're building it up. We have a realtor in the audience, and between our neighborhood and the Roebuck Springs South Roebuck neighborhood, he can tell you of instances where there was somebody who wanted to buy a house, and the Facebook post turned those people off, but they went and bought somewhere else. We've got to be more responsible. And telling each other these awful things that we don't like about our neighborhood is great and wonderful, but that's preaching to the choir. We know what the problem is, but where's that same force of voice telling it to the people who can do something about it? And that's what we're proposing to change this year. So the committees that you'll see over on the table here, there's a historic committee. In case y'all don't know, there are 4 nationally registered historic districts within the Southeast Lake neighborhood. 4. And if you were to pull a permit on a house in any of those districts, you would get a permit that says Nationally Registered Historic Neighborhood. That's it. You could put up a high-rise. Nobody would know, nobody would say anything because no guidelines have been put in place. So we would like this committee, now there's a few of us that have started, but we're just a handful. We would like to get a committee together that works with the city and works with, what is her name, Carla Calvert, to finish putting those guidelines in place so that as Habitat and other people are coming in and they're getting houses that are in these districts, that we maintain the character of this neighborhood. That same committee would become the design and review committee so that when somebody comes and they pull that permit and they have a plan for a house, the neighborhood knows what they're trying to put in here. We have that ability. Let's use it. Also have a government and infrastructure committee. Some folks that want to get together who are, let me just say this right now, no offense intended. If you're a hothead, do not volunteer for this committee. I'm just gonna say it up front. Just don't even bother. You'll be tempted. I don't need to read about anybody getting, slapping a counselor or the mayor or anything else. If you cannot control your temper, do not do it. But we need a government and infrastructure committee. That means a committee that speaks on behalf of the neighborhood and talks to our elected officials, that is on 311, forms a relationship with Don Lupo at the Mayor's Office of Citizen Assistance, that one constant committee that can do those things, follow up on it, and report back to the neighborhood as a whole. Special Events Committee. What are we doing that is improving the quality of life of all of us here and those who don't come here? What are we doing to show that this is a warm and welcoming neighborhood? A lot of neighborhoods do fun days. I think we do, what was it, a picnic, or what do we do?
Picnic and Christmas.
Picnic and Christmas. But we're here more than 2 times a year. So a committee that can come together, come up with these cool activities to engage our neighbors. Get to know the kids that are running around breaking into my house. Yeah, they did. But let's form something so that we can get to know everybody, and let's get to know each other. That's the only way we're gonna build anything, is if we're on the same page and we're working together. A marketing team and welcome wagon. Nobody knows that we're here aside from the signs and what we may put on Facebook. Nobody knows to really just come down here and use what you're given, use the tools you have. All of us, if we just walked our block and knocked on the door and said, hey, I live right here, such and such, blah, 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 you know, introduce yourself. Tell somebody about the neighborhood association. Get to know your neighbors. Bring them in. Find out when somebody moves in down the street from you. Invite them. If we could form a committee and get that situation organized, Valerie and I and Mitchell and Sherman and a few other folks, and Kathy, we all talked about getting business cards made. City has a full print shop in the basement. Getting business cards made, bringing them to the meetings, grab a handful, walk your block, go to Village Market, pass them out. Let people know what time we meet, where we are. Tell them about 311. Tell them about calling dispatch, because 911 will put you on hold. Share that information, share that knowledge, and make us stronger as a community. A park committee. With us today is the Secretary of Roebuck Springs South Roebuck, David Cobbin. He is the head of the park committee, subcommittee for the Roebuck Springs South Roebuck Neighborhood Association. They're working with Ruffner Mountain to try to put in a park that just happens to be on their side of Ruffner. Well, we have a piece of land that there's a piece of Ruffner that ends into our neighborhood, where last year discussions were made about putting a natural playscape there and helping to support monetarily and volunteer-wise, help Ruffner put in a natural playscape for the kids in the neighborhood, because they have no park to play in. Let's form a subcommittee to work on that, work with Ruffner, and get that ball moving. We started it, but there wasn't enough momentum, so let's get that finished. We also have on here a beautification committee. This would be separate from government and infrastructure. This is just reporting trash and debris and pileups day in, day out, and maintaining a spreadsheet and holding people accountable. It's not glamorous work, but if we all stay on it, if by proof of Martin Luther King Day, when there was an email sent out and a Facebook post sent out where we put a list together and we sent it down to the mayor's office, within 24 to 48 hours, they started picking up. It can happen, but we have to hold folks accountable. And animal welfare. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm sick of my trash can getting turned over. We have a serious situation going on with strays and whatnot. Kathy Freeland, God bless her. She's the cat whisperer, the dog whisperer. You know, we gotta give her credit.
Yeah, I'll just mention that most of the dogs and cats taken to or picked up by animal control come from our zip code. We really have the problem.
So Kathy, she's agreed to be our fearless leader in all things animal. You know, she's a joy to work with. So I'm laying all this stuff out. It seems like a lot, seems like we're asking a lot, but you know what? We have a lot of work to do. So anybody who's interested, you know, no pressure. Like I said, if you can't do it, you can't commit your time to it, don't sign up. No harm, no foul. Keep showing up and at least getting the information and sharing it with your neighbors. We're okay with that. We'll meet anybody where we find them. But in the next 2 years, there's some things that are clear that we have to do. We have to clean up and beautify our neighborhood. And for everybody that keeps saying, well, the city can't do it all. They physically cannot do it all. If we're standing over a piece of trash and we're walking over it to drag our trash to the trash can and saying, well, the city's not picking up, that's ridiculous. We're right there. It's going to take us. I will tell you this about the city and public works. If the city were to go and clean every lot, mow it, everything that they have on the books right now, can anybody give me a guess of how long it would take them to get current to what's wrong right now? Just how much?
About 10 years.
Somewhere around there, more closer to 5. If they had all crews working, it would take them 5 years to take care of all the complaints that we have been putting in all this time, because they just can't do it. And even if they could, does everybody know that part of that bond money that just passed was to open up some new landfill cells because the other ones are full? So if they could pick up everything else and they put it in the landfill, where's the rest of the trash going? They can't do it. So as much as everybody says, well, garbage pickup, it's time for us to look past garbage pickup and look at waste management, recycling properly. And those things, nobody at the city hall is going to just randomly wake up one day and say, yes, we need to look at waste management and better ways to recycle. They're not going to do it. But it's our job to tell them, as our employee, that that's what we need done. But we've got to all look at this situation for the, just for it being what it is. The city's at max capacity. Yeah, there's some things that can be a little better organized, but at the end of the day, they're running with what they got. I think part of our problem here was the trucks in the east side public works have broken down. Then what? And we're still ranting and raving and whatever, but nobody bothered to ask just a simple question, why? Making our presence known. Council meetings every Tuesday, 9:30. City Hall, 3rd floor, council chambers. Any one of us who has an issue can go and stand before the council. You will get 3 minutes. As long as you're respectful, stay on topic, they will let you come and talk. Same stuff, everything everybody's saying on Facebook. Go tell it to the folks who don't know. Go tell it to the folks who don't live here. And if we had a constant presence like some neighborhoods do every Tuesday, crazy, not crazy, but every Tuesday they are there and they are spreading the gospel of their neighborhood, there's no reason why we can't do that. And rotate. There's no reason. And when's the last time somebody's put something positive about their neighborhood on Facebook or any other social media? I see all the negative stuff. Well, okay, we got 2. Hallelujah. Yeah.
I did yesterday.
Okay, well, keep it up. If everybody in this room did one thing positive every day, that in itself can start turning this neighborhood around. But the neighborhood bashing, it's not helping anybody. It's really not. And I mean, I want to see my property values go up. I'm sure all of you do. But be a part of your own solution. And one of the last things I'm going to say, because I have droned on long enough.
Sorry, I didn't get her fast enough.
There's a child for sale in the front row. I'm taking bids at $5. You know you have to go home with me, right?
$3.01.
It's sold. Show up, folks. Support your neighborhood. Support all of those that are trying to do something positive. This church has a diner open for lunch Monday through Friday. How many people knew that? How many people actually show up? Support your neighbors.
I went down 280. I can't quite swing
Okay, you're forgiven. But support your neighborhood. If you can't come, buy gift certificates. But support your neighborhood. Farmers market. How many people regularly attend? Okay, well, I'll be seeing y'all in May. But those are amenities to us. Let's support those things. Let's work together. Let's come together for a common focus and see if we can't get something done together, because we know we haven't been able to accomplish it apart. So I hope this is a great 2015, and let's get to work.